Art Department.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for the introduction, Jacqueline, and hello, everybody. Welcome to another uh, panel with my good friends Faraz and Amir. And I'll let them introduce themselves, and we're gonna start off by talking about the subject itself. So, Shanier, would you start?
Uh, Hi, my name is Faraz Shania. I'm a senior concept artist at Machine Games. It's been like almost 7 years that I'm working in game industry. I also worked on movies and in movie industry, and now I'm here to talk with you guys.
Awesome, awesome. Welcome, man. Glad to have you here.
Thank you. Man.
What about you, Amir?
Yeah, my name is Amir Zand, and I've been working, I guess, starting to work for 10 years now, and I'm an illustrator. I've been, let's say, an illustrator, and then, made this transition to concept art, currently working at Quantic Dream
Yeah.
as a concept artist. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome, man.
Surviving.
Super happy to have you guys here. And yeah, let's just start
Thanks.
off our panel because there's a reason we are here talking about. Yeah, I just wanted to start off by saying when I was thinking about this subject together with my other colleagues at Playgrounds, we were thinking, all right, there's these amazing artists in Iran, but for some reason I feel like they're not getting the recognition that they deserved for some reason. So this is why I contacted you guys because for some reason I think there's a lot of people who know politically what's going on in Iran, but they don't know what is happening there when it comes to the artists or the people who actually live there. So, I'll start off with you, Shania. What is your, being an artist from Iran, how does it influence your career path?
Uh, it's a really, how can I say? It's not an easy there's no easy answer to that
Mm-hmm.
because there's like lots of different subjects and different type of situation affect your art. But if you just like look at it clearly from artist point of view, I think there's lots of good things for Iranian artists to how can I say? There's like lots of good things for us to show to the world because of the cultural background and the location and the history that we have in Iran.
Yeah,
So we have lots of benefits as an Iranian artist because of the background,
true.
and lots of issues because of the political situation in the world right now.
Yeah. Do you have any input, Amir?
Yeah, it's I guess it to be an artist, especially in this industry, let's say, to be focused on, to be Middle Eastern is not really easy. But
No.
also being Iranian, for Iran, it's totally different story because this is a country that is not connected to the world.
Yeah.
For real, it's
Mhm.
like so it's not easy to have access to many things.
Yeah.
And on the political standpoint, let's say whatever that happening, I say usually people, it's like getting hit by the outside and the inside, like in a both ways,
Yeah.
So it's like you don't have a choice to how to connect to the world. It's not possible really to go out. And then from the inside also, it's not really truly a free country to do whatever you want or to say whatever you
Exactly.
want. So it's like a pressure from both sides, for your ends. But there are many artists um, in these situations.
Because
But
because
yeah, we can go on. Yeah.
yeah, I mean because I know that for a fact, I'm also from the Middle East. I'm Kurdish Iraqi, and my parents, when I told them I'm gonna do art, they were like, "Yeah, no, we don't like that or whatnot." And then I spoke to one of my Iranian friends, and they told me art actually in Iran is seen as very high of something to achieve. And I think looking at in general at the digital artists who come from Iran, you guys have such a unique voice and style. And does this come from because relating to your cultural background? Do you feel like that you guys that for some reason I feel like there's some differences in the way you portray yeah, your own characters or your own art on any platform.
Uh, yeah, I think there's direct impact on our art scene
Yeah.
because of the culture and the history, and also the point of view of Iranian to the world. Yeah, we are some sort of disconnected to the world,
Hmm.
and it's not just like it's if you want to analyze this situation, you have to look at the bigger picture
Right.
of the geopolitical situation. And I think this panel is not about that.
Yeah.
This panel is mostly about the art.
Yeah.
There's lots of details. It's not as simple as that. Like, okay, there's no freedom in Iran. That's why artists behave like that, or that's why we are under the sanctions. It's not. It's way more complex than that.
Right.
The situation, and I really don't want to go there. But I can say Iranian culture support art.
Yeah.
And through the history, it helped the art scene of the world to
True.
push it forward.
True.
And you can see it on digital artists as well.
Yeah.
Because I don't see any differences between digital art and traditional art. It's some same thing, but different technique.
Right. Yeah, because if you look at Iran itself, just from the creative standpoint, you guys have great poets, singers, actors, musicians. Like it's in all ranges. Creativity is very there. It's very outspoken, and I've been doing this comparison because I feel like people who have like if we take it back to Afro Americans when 200 years ago when they were in slavery, the way they kind of communicated that pain was through music, right? And that music is the music we have today, like the way it evolved. And I think because I don't know who said that, but through suffering, creativity comes. And I think because the people in Middle East most of the time are, it's like what you said, you can't really be outspoken or be yourself in any form or way. So I think because of that, the reaction to the creativity, it blossoms in such a huge way. Because you also studied in Iran, if I'm correct, both of you.
Yeah.
Also arts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I studied art and graphic design also in university.
right. And how is it for you guys now if you were to want to freelance for a Western country?
I think that's the main issue we
Yeah.
have. Yeah, it's sanctions
Right.
and
Yeah.
money transaction. That's the main problem for lots of
Yeah.
Iranian artists. I have a friend who got a job offer from a huge, big company, well-known company. But when they realized he's Iranian, they declined his case. It happened to me also when I was in Canada.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of my, I can say it was my dream company, my favorite company. They contacted me. I did a test for them. And when they realized I'm Iranian, they told me that it's not possible to work with them.
Wow.
And it's a normal thing for Iranian artists.
Yeah, for you it's
I
normal.
think,
Yeah.
for Iranian artists, it's a normal thing. And you have to be like super good. You have to be really good to get a job.
Yeah.
If you're like average artist, you cannot get any job.
No. No, that's true.
Yeah.
You have any input on this, Amir?
Yeah, it's the banking system is really important and it's not connected. And usually in some country you say like, okay, let's say that I'm going to leave the country and then I'm going to be connected.
Yeah.
It's not the same for Iranian. Like if you go outside the border, like you say, okay, I'm on another country now, which I guess happened to Faraz. I guess it happened to me. Like so we have to first get connected to a banking system to say like, okay, we're going to work and we're going to receive money. But then like for example, here in Turkey, I went to many banks and they refused me. Why? Because you're Iranian. So it's not like that because you're not in the country anymore, not in that border anymore, you're free. No, you're outside, but you're still Iranian. It's like
Wow.
it's really hard. So I had to like really go through some stuff to finally be able to get connected to a bank. And exactly as Faraz said, the companies when they're coming for you, like you have to be so good because they need to go through lots of bureaucracy to get you in, like to have you. So
Yeah.
that's why for many in Iran, let's say it cannot be a clean career to say like, okay, I can be an intern, I can start from small, I can grow up, I can study from small to the big. So you find like it happened for me. I find myself like, okay, after some years of work in illustration and then concept art in a AAA game, like out of a sudden, and I never been in any studio or in any production like that before. So
Yeah.
I didn't have this let's say experience, but it happened out of a sudden, and you have to be ready for it. So, but as when you see in let's say Western or other countries, you can have like smaller steps and come up like
True.
it's more clean, it's more easier, in a way. So
Yeah,
yeah,
because
it's
from from what I'm hearing, it's not necessarily the growth that you're afraid of, or feeling like, oh, it takes so long to get a job. It's more like you have to be on your A game the whole time and be in the 1% to be able to get a job which another person just gets if he's like on the intermediate level.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, that's
how
insane
it
to me.
is,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah,
Unfortunately, yeah.
because it's
That's
crazy
why
to
we
me.
have. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, no, go ahead.
That's why we have few Iranian artists in this industry.
Yeah.
Because if you come to Iran and look at the art scene, you will be surprised.
Wow.
Yeah, some people think Iran is not free country or something like that. I don't believe in that because I live there, live here and born here, and I know lots of different opinions.
Yeah.
And personally, I didn't censor myself through my whole life.
Yeah.
I said whatever I want, and I didn't have any trouble. Maybe it's mindset that is kind of acceptable here, but yeah, I'm sure there are people who have troubles, but it's not the issue. It's the main issue is that problem that Amir says.
Yeah.
It's this disconnection from the banking system.
Mm-hmm.
I know right now. I know a sound designer who's doing great job, and he's struggling to find a job in industry, but he can't.
Yeah. Wow. And so for you, if we look at the situation, what would be the struggle that you have gone through so far? What kind of advice would you give to another Iranian artist, for example, who wants to also work in this industry and is kind of afraid of, hearing all this stuff that you guys are telling? What keeps you going?
What do you say, Amir? Could you
I mean,
please help me on that?
I believe many of them already know this. So like by heart, it's like for many, it's like a gamble.
Yeah.
But because they really love and passionate about art, I mean, it's like the point. It's not like, oh, okay. I know even for many outside Iran, it's supposed to be a passion to do art. But I've seen some people that picking up it like as a career. Okay, I'm gonna be like artist. I'm working in the industry. But in Iran, they're like truly passionate that one day I will be there. I'm sure. So I keep doing it, even if it's like for years of not having any payment. Or so it's truly, when you look at it deeply, it's love and passion about doing, about creating, about art. So it's I guess this is a really nice point, and I know many of them having so much issues, maybe even in life, because it's really hard to not be connected to work or have payment. So that's when you see, oh, it's pure love to create, and finally, suddenly, at some point, I get there. So it's really a dreamy thing that they're doing it.
Well, it's possible. It's definitely possible, yeah. It's
Yeah.
some sort of fight. You have to just like fight for it.
Yeah.
True.
But it's absolutely possible. If you reach a certain level, you can do it. But unfortunately, some people can't, and it's really sad. We cannot change that. That's some sort of fact. Some people are gonna fail, unfortunately,
Yeah.
because the situation is not fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just mind-boggling to me to hear all this because my path, coming from the same area as you guys, my path was so different. And I felt like I was, in the lesser. Just looking at you guys, I'm like, I need to shut up. I need to shut my mouth. No, it's in this insane. And what? How do you like? If you're a hope, let's say we are a hopeful people, right? What
Yes.
would be a solution for all this for you guys? Do you think?
Please.
If you had any power in your
Art passport. Like I wish it's not just.
Oh, wow.
oh
I
yeah,
just
that would be a
wish-
good one.
Yeah, I wish that all artists around the world could have a separate passport
Yeah,
or a separate region or a border or whatever that called this area is for artists, and then you can travel free. Because even what you're doing right now, if you see it happens, with COVID, that lots of these events and works also switching to freelance or live events like this. So imagine it's really not easy for Iranians to go to these events. Like I never been, to be
Yeah.
honest. I tried to be, but they refused my visa. But so that's my story. So
Yeah.
I never been into any event to be contact. So you see, when you are there, when you're physically there, you get so hyped. You want to work, you want to study, you get connected to other artists, to other cultures. It's beautiful. And now when you're doing this event like live, they can finally see, they can finally connect. So through internet, it's getting easy at some point to have these beautiful situations as well, that they can finally be in an event like this. But yeah, the passport, I think it could be a very cool idea to have this, because it gives you access, like, let's say, better. But I believe what Farah said is true, that you can do it. I mean, we have people that did it. So it's just you put a bit more work and really passionately moving forward toward what you want, it will happen. And companies going to come, and there will be companies like that, as I said, to go through that bureaucracy to just have you.
Yeah,
Oh,
very true.
So
It's also another good motivational
yeah.
element to it.
Yeah. Can I add something to
Yeah,
it?
of course.
It's great to join a company, but the company is not everything.
Yeah,
As an artist, you have to have respect for yourself, for your taste, and
Amen.
follow what you love.
hmm
It's not just industry. I know the whole event is about industry, and the industry is really important to go forward, and the money making part, but it's not the whole thing.
no.
Even if you couldn't, that's my advice to Iranian artists. Even if you couldn't make it to industry, do it for yourself.
Well said.
Try to make your own thing.
Yeah, yeah. I think fortunately we also live in a time where it's also possible to just do it for yourself more and more instead of relying on companies. The threshold always when you want to start out is you have these companies in your head and you're like, all right, I'm gonna work towards that, and then every artist that I've met who have gone through that cycle, and then at the end of the day, you kind of noticed, okay, I actually want to do my own stuff, because all you're getting while you're working for a company is just being bossed around and being like, oh no, change this and do that and do this and do that. So after a while, once you have that experience, you feel like, wait a minute, I can also make these choices. So why not do my own thing and see what I can come up with? I think it's a very good learning curve for everybody to actually
Yeah.
go through that, and then be convinced by yourself that, all right, production is not the only solution to happiness in art career.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's certainly not. It's true. I mean, even in my path, that was the same. Even right now,
Yeah.
I mean, I see some artists that they're just putting up like production pieces, and even if they do something personal, it's study for another production pieces.
hmm
So for me, especially on my social network, I usually end up not posting production work and so insist on what I love to do, what I want to tell. And it's like a way of living for me. It's like, this is how I breathe. So if I take like 2 weeks, like I couldn't do something personal for myself, I really feel like not well.
Yeah.
It's not okay for me to
Yeah.
to not do it. So and that was the main thing that also happened to me to firstly impact on, let's say, some illustration job, and then going to the concept art. So even right now, it's always like a way to go. Like I cannot pause it. I have to sit down and do something for myself,
Yeah.
not engineered,
Yeah.
because when you're in production, you are engineering a craft, an artwork, and it's really not coming from the heart to me. It's like, yeah, a piece of you is in there, but it's chore, it's not that 100% passion. But for me, it's like when I sit down for a personal work, it's like completely heart. I'm
Yeah.
not engineering anything, or whatever that happens is just coming like naturally. And it also helps to connect with more people and to show what you really do, and also become, let's say, a bit more original
Expressive.
approach, or
Yeah.
yeah, expressive. Yeah, that's a good word. So for me, this was the case.
Right.
As far as said, like even right now when I'm in a company, like, oh, okay, goodbye, like personal work, I don't need you anymore. So it's a pure passion from the very beginning, and you should stay with it.
Did
Yeah,
you?
exactly.
Oh yeah. Can
Sorry.
you add? No, please go ahead.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, I think it's that passion thing. If you lose it, you're gonna lose everything,
Oh.
and the whole job will be some sort of office job for you.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to lose it. I've seen lots of artists who lost that passion, and they become like uh, workers. No offense to
No,
workers,
no, no, no.
but as an artist, you're gonna change, and you're
Yeah.
gonna lose your passion to keep continue and be creative. And
Yeah.
that's a really sad thing for an artist.
Yeah. I think that it's also important if you because art start as passion first, right, and then it evolves into your work. So you still have to divide your hobbies in your work. So that means personal work is still your hobby, and production work is work. So you can't be like my hobby and my work are the same thing, because you have to feel that empty void of creating something without having the feeling of it has to have the standard of what I always want. Do any of you guys do any other creative things outside of art?
Not me.
Maybe some guitar, maybe.
Nothing. No.
Oh, we can
Playing
hear you.
Sekiro on hard. Is it working?
So it's the mic, is
Oh
it?
yeah,
Can
yeah,
you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you.
Yeah, I just doing photography,
Nice.
um, and yeah, it's also the same. I mean, I see it art. I mean, if you're creating with whatever medium,
Yeah,
it's still a way of expression. So
yeah. It's interestingly about this whole idea of creativity, right? I've been thinking about how do some other people get to grow faster than some than me, for example, whatnot. And I noticed that, like, the people I look up to, if I take like a guy like Pharrell, somebody like Kanye West, Christopher Nolan, whatnot, all these actors and actresses and musicians, is they always pick up another creative thing, because you're forcing your brain to come up with solutions that you've never thought before. Like, let's say we talk about guitar playing, you're actually thinking about your fingers and thinking of how you should put that motion into play. And I think forcing your brain to come up with creative solutions outside of just the art, it's going to help you immensely in the long run. It's like, if you play soccer, you're not just going to kick the ball the whole time. You're also taking sprints. You're also swimming, right? Kind
yeah,
of build up the rest of the muscles so that you can handle it 120%.
I think a
yeah,
sport
true.
is pretty good.
Yeah.
Sport is. I play soccer sometimes if
Nice.
I
Yeah.
found time, and I love it. It's so
It's
good.
really good, man. It's
It's a different thing.
right.
Absolutely, creativity, everything. It's
You
a
know,
mixture of everything.
can you imagine what artists do is like we're sitting 8 hours a day and you're so far up in your own head, right?
Oh, yeah.
That like you guys have that before as well probably is like I'm going outside and so far in my head with that art thing that I'm walking 2 hours and I feel like I haven't seen anything because my head is just busy the whole time figuring out how do I do this? How do I do this? But then at the end of the day, when I come back home, I'm already tired of thinking before I even started, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
it's really discipline in work. All right, you'll achieve that in a few years. But discipline and rest, it's also super.
Oh, absolutely.
How do you guys
Yeah.
handle that?
Physical
me.
activity. I
Hmm.
think that's
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
For me, it's a bit not like that clean, let's say. I
I
mean,
mean,
my
Amir
wife,
is always plugged in the matrix.
yeah, my wife telling me that you're a workaholic or whatever, like you're always doing something. So, and I know, like I'm trying to practice that to finally get to a point to to have some other activities or really to, as you said, shut down the brain. But it's really hard for me. I don't know really how to do it. Like I don't know, meditation can be or listening to music or whatever. But whatever I do, I still feeling and translate it, to
Your work.
something that I'm going to
Yeah.
create,
Oh,
or if it's in the production, as I said, like you're going, I don't know, vacation and you're trying to take a shot, and it's not just a similar way of other people taking beautiful shot. You're trying to study it later on.
yeah. All right. To hold.
Yes. Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna use that texture, and then something like that. So it's always like the brain, even when I'm sitting down and deciding to, okay, let's not work. I'm still, my brain is in that situation. But gaming is something that I do sometimes to relax. To be honest, this is maybe the only
Mm.
thing they can take my mind off of it. But now since they adding this taking snapshots through the game, also even there,
You
just keep
ruined it, right?
keep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ruined it. Like I want to play, and okay, let's pause and take a picture here. It's like yeah, it's constant. It's really, I'm not a good person to give
To ask
any
that question,
advice.
you need to
Yeah, this
advise yourself.
yeah, help me. Like that's that situation.
So Faraz, I
Yeah.
feel like you're just a laid back guy who can just draw really well. What is happening, man? What is a Faraz struggle?
No, I played I worked a lot. I played a lot. I play games as well, but
Uh,
I worked a lot. I'm workaholic as well. I have back pain. I have new pains
yeah,
that
man.
I'm getting old, and new pains are approaching, like
Well,
weird pains, like
yeah.
joint pains. Like what is going on? I
What is this muscle? I've never
didn't.
thought about this.
Yeah, I didn't know it's gonna hurt at some point in my life. But physical activity, I think it's a really great thing to just fix your head and
Yeah,
fix your
man.
body. Uh, even if you have mental issues like anxieties and you know, some sort of depression, uh, physical activity can help a lot. I'm not a doctor. I'm not advising anything, but
Very true.
personally, I went through really tough time with running and biking or playing football.
Yeah.
Playing football is the best activity.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I love that. But yeah, and gaming is pretty good. Not Sekiro because it's just make you rage.
Yeah.
I finished that game, but I love that game. It's not good for relaxing, but gaming is pretty good. Uh, Still, I think physical activity is the best. Running, walking, swimming, playing football.
You guys, how is the if we go back to Iran, how is the situation there? Is there like local companies who have like their own local games, or how does that work?
I
Is it
mean,
coming up?
yeah, I'm in Iran right now, and
Mm.
yeah, I've seen things change. after those crazy sanctions, lots of companies shut down, and Iran has a good animation base. It had a good animation base. Lots of animation companies, lots of cartoonists, great cartoonists.
Yeah.
And we had like good run with animation, and gaming also. Lots of good gaming companies, like local game companies. But after those sanctions, lots of them got shut down.
Yeah.
But still, like small groups of young people getting together and doing amazing projects. Like time to time, you hear like they winning big awards, even through the sanctions and through the pressures.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hopeful for the future
Yeah.
of Iran art.
I th-
I think it's going. It's improving.
Yeah.
Even with all this pressure.
Hopefully, it's going to improve in such a way that the whole Middle East will, have more focus on the creative side, because I think in the last couple of years there have been so much focused on the other side, which is non-creativity, and I think we need to bring that back, and hopefully we can do that for the next generation. Who knows? But yeah, it's very frustrating to hear from somebody who also, was born there and then came here to live in Holland, and I've never, I've had things where, people because of my last name kind of look different, but that's fine. But compared to you guys, that's nothing. So it's always healthy
Yeah,
to reflect and kind of see that, it could always be worse.
yeah. Even for us, even it's better compared to people from like Afghanistan. Like
Yeah.
Afghanistan going through a tough time right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a nice thing to just remember what's happening there right now. And I really hope for a better future for all of my friends from Afghanistan.
Yeah.
I have a really nice friend from there, and they're like amazing people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I have a
it's
lot
not
of
fair
Afghan
what's
friends.
happening
Yeah.
right now.
It's very crazy. All of my Afghan friends here in Holland, they all study very high in education. They're very educated people, Afghan people, very smart as well. It's just unfortunate things and time and measurement and the whole country. It's just unfortunate history, just like with Iran or Kurdistan, Iraq, Syria, doesn't matter. So, but the fact that we are sitting here, because I'm pretty sure, like you guys, for me 10 years ago, I didn't know anybody with any name relating to any, Farsi, Arabic, or whatnot. And then now we have all these amazing artists, including you guys, and you have Shadi Safadi, you have Saeed, there's so many people in Europe also kind of coming up. So I'm very happy that we can, bring this into the light as well, and kind of speak about it. So if I could ask you guys, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
That's a tough question.
Are you still do you see yourself still behind the PC, or do you see yourself that, like, do you want to go into more like maybe a leading artist? Or because I know for you, Faraz, I would love to, even for Amir, both of you, I would love to see a game in your style, your art direction.
That would be a good
That would be
future.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Short film, maybe. Short animation. I would love to do animation
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
I started with animation. I learned animation in Iran. I can say most of the things that I learned from my Iranian friends and
Wow.
Iranian companies. And I would love to get back to animation at some point.
Yeah.
Or doing short comic book or something like that,
That's
short
so-
stories. I would love to do that. Start to do that, and just find out if I can do the bigger things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my aim is doing like short stories.
Yeah.
Short animation, short comics.
And then who knows where we will be progressing from that. How about you, Amir?
Yeah, it's really tough question, to be honest.
Amir is going to
But
morph into the computer itself. He's going to be half robot, half. You're just walking
one
outside, taking photos and painting at the same time.
one thing that, to be honest, that I mean, it's more about the life and a way of living. Let's say not really focused on art, because I'm sure wherever I go, I'm probably going to do something.
Yeah.
But I really love to settle in different countries and different regions. I mean, I love the fact to be able to live in different places in different periods because when you're artist, it really gives so much creativity to you. It's the experience is really good to have to live in different cultures, and learn. And after a few years, 2 3 years, you can move to another. So I it's not possible at the moment, but if it's, I don't know, at some point get possible, I would love to do that, to be able to have somewhere as to I call home,
Hmm.
where I know that I'm going to come back to it. But I'm always not a person just to be in one place. I love to be like in east, to be in west, to be in the center, to live there and try to get that experience.
Take
And I
that
think
energy.
it's, yeah,
Yeah.
I think it really impact on your growth and your view, and also impact on your creativity.
Yeah.
So I hope I be able to have that, in 10 years, to say like, oh, I've been into like, I don't know, 4 countries maybe,
Right.
and I lived, and so that would be cool. But the art's gonna stay, I'm pretty sure, if I don't die in 10 years.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
We'll
It's
see.
hopefully
Uh,
that's
it's
true.
very interesting because I noticed that digital artists who have done it for a while now is
Mm.
we're all like, for some reason our next step is kind of animating something, and it's not
Oh.
through a traditional way. It's just through like finding your own way of how to animate that. So it's very I'm very happy to hear that, because we just need to, as long as we do our own thing, you force the companies to also, respect you at that form. Like what you said earlier, like the artist has to respect himself, and also tell the studio like, no, this is not what I'm agreeing with, or no, this is not the way I work. You can't, you're hiring me for my creativity, not my hand. So it's good that this is happening. And I think we still have like 2.5 minutes left. I just wanted to ask you guys if you could have one childhood cartoon that inspired you till this day. What is it?
Oh wow. Mm. Tom
Childhood
and Jerry.
cartoon.
Which one?
Tom and Jerry. Conflict. Internal conflict.
Oh, so every time you every time you paint, you just think of Tom and Jerry. Like, oh man, these guys, they really inspired me. How about you, Amir?
But seriously.
I mean, I don't know if it's for me, it can be a movie. I
Yeah.
mean, I was a child and there was not so restricted back then. I don't know what families would think to do that, but I watched, like, I guess Alien when I was 6 or 7,
Oh,
but I
nice.
loved it. I mean, it didn't have that bad impact,
No.
but so it was really something that I remember. As if you say go back to your childhood, what picture you remember? I remember Alien.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was Aliens, the second one.
Mm.
I
So
mean,
yeah,
it makes sense, man. For middle, like I
Yeah.
also, when I was in Kurdistan, I was watching like 5, 6. I was watching action and horror movies. I'm
yeah,
like, the horror was already outside, so if I watch this fake thing, it doesn't, it doesn't phase me anymore.
yeah,
If I need horror, just go outside. I'll see people shooting each other at that time.
yeah.
No, man,
Yeah.
it's super crazy because for me the same thing. I've been super inspired by Western movies because I grew up until I was 6 in Kurdistan, and then we fled to Holland, and it had a huge impact on me until this
Yeah.
day even. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
you guys also watch Jean-Claude Van Damme and
Oh, yeah.
Arnold,
Yeah.
and right.
Lots of
That was
Rambo.
hard, to pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think we're at the last 30 seconds. I want to thank you guys so much for being on this
Yes.
panel. And I want to say the work you guys do inspires me every time. For you, Amir, every time I want to do environment art, I always look at your work. For you, Faraz, every time I try to hope that I can draw a bit, I always look at your stuff. It's amazing. And hopefully we can come up with a solution to this dreadful, thing that you guys are living with. Thank you so much for being on this, and see you guys at the next talk. Bye.